Welcome back to Summit Railway, my friends. Today we are finally getting the sawmill ready to go outside. In the last video I have prepared the building itself and we got rid of a lot of unnecessary wiring, and today we are adding some wiring. We need to install those two lanterns and we are going to install this ESU Lok Pilot decoder on top of this plate, which will go up here. First of all, we will have a look at this motor, which is underneath the building, and it is supposed to drive the saw, which is situated inside the building. This one right here, it should move up and down. In the last video, I've stated this motor doesn't work, and then I got a lot of comments from you guys that this isn't a DC motor, it's an AC motor. So right now I have it wired up to a AC power supply, and we will have a look if this motor actually works. This would be awesome. And it does. Very good. I have to thank you guys. I didn't know that was an AC motor, but it clearly is, because now it works. Let's have a look at the saw. Yeah, this is how it should look. But that leaves me with a different problem, because where I'm going to place this building, I don't have any AC power anywhere near. I will have to figure out a solution for that. I have had a close look at the manual, and right here it states that ESU can provide some permanent magnets to install inside an AC motor to make it DC. And after that we can run it with the decoder. That would be perfect. So I will look into that. But for now we are going to install those two lanterns on the outside of the building on each side, run the wiring, and then I think we are close to installing the decoder. I think I made a mistake. This looks stupid. I've been looking at this for a couple of minutes now, and I think the only solution is to remove the lantern. At least the hole has the perfect size. But I think this is the only option. I won't use a lantern right here. I will have those two big lanterns lighting up the yard around the building. And I'm pretty sure I abort this mission and don't mount any lanterns on the outside of the building. Now let's fit the base plate. We got all the wires at the right place. And look at that, nice and sturdy. So next up is the base plate of the decoder. And here it is important, I think this is the track and this is the auxiliary. So we will mount it this way. And we will need those ports right here and those ports over there. Okay, that's it. Nice and sturdy. Let's try if the decoder will still fit. Yeah, this is how it will look. Decoder nice and tight up against the roof, so it will be probably dry. And now we can start making our connections. The first connection we are going to make is the track connection. Let's see how this goes. Next I need to connect the lights to the auxiliary ports down here, and since this is really complicated to film and a little bit boring anyways, we will see us when I get this done. Alright, have a look at this. the base plate is securely mounted inside the building. We also have a distribution clamp which distributes the U+ connection over all the lanterns and additional power connections. And I have the auxiliary connections mounted as well. So right now we should be able to stick the decoder on top of the base plate like so, and that's how it will be. I think this portion of the project is done. To finish up the top portion of the building, I need to figure out a solution to mount the roof on top of the building so I can easily remove it for maintenance purposes of the decoder, but it is also windproof. I got a lot of nice comments on this topic, and today I want to try something new, at least new for me. I will use some magnets and mount them to top and bottom, so the magnets will stick to each other and hold the roof in place. But I can easily lift it up by using some decent force. That's what we're gonna try. The real interesting part is those magnets, they are pretty cheap ones, but I have them on hand. But they don't have holes, and I wanna screw them into the plastic with those screws. So I don't know what happens when you try to drill through a magnet, but I guess we will find out. I have a feeling that this is not going to work, but I don't have to lose anything either, so let's go for it. Okay, we are done. Today I've learned that magnets are very hard and brittle. You can't drill them. That's always good to know, but that doesn't solve my problem. I have had a close look once again at the building, and I figured out if I drill 2 holes, one here, one there, I might be able to put one of those tiny screws from the bottom up into the roof and simply screw the roof into place. Okay, let's see if that will work. There's the hole. Haha! Look at that. Oh yeah, that's dirty. I think we found the right solution. Underneath the building we got 4 wires sticking out the bottom. We got 2 very long ones. Those are the track connections which will bring power from the track to the decoder inside the building, and from there distribute the power to all the necessary places. And that brings me to those 2 wires. They will terminate in those clamps. I will stick 2 of those clamps on the bottom of the building like so, and from there we can distribute the power to the lights we already installed on the layout, and some additional lights I will install in the future. I really love this tape, it sticks like crazy, so I'm putting on some decent force and it really sticks. Let's now install the wiring. That's something I love about those clamps. It is so easy and quick. They are pricey, I have to admit, but they are worth every penny. Boom! Just like that, we have our distribution underneath the building. I have changed the setup quite significantly. As you can tell, we are now more like in the office than in the workshop. We still have the sawmill building with the decoder installed. I have connected it to the ESU programming module, which is connected to a tiny computer, the only Windows computer I own, and this will be, by the way, the brain of my signal box as well. And then we have installed the ESU Lok programming software, and now I'm able to communicate and program the decoder like I wish. Up here is Lok Sound, and we have a Lok Pilot. And we have the Lok Pilot 5 DCC. Okay. Now that I have chosen the right decoder, we are at the working end of the software, it seems like. So here you may be able to test the decoder after you've programmed it. But since I don't have programmed anything yet, I can't test anything. So one step further, we can get decoder information. That's interesting. Let's read them. And it actually works. We have the manufacturer and some follow-up information. That's quite interesting, but I think we want to go down here. Yes, look at that. Here you can actually change the settings of the decoder, which is what I want. And the first thing I'd like to change is the address. It is standard like every decoder, it's on free. And now I want a very unique address. Let's choose 999. That's good for now. I doubt someone else has this address on a locomotive which will run on my layout. So since this decoder will permanently be connected to my layout, I think that's fine. Okay, and then I need to go through a lot of settings. I think this will be very time consuming and boring for you guys. If you have any interest about the software and any follow-up videos, how to program a locomotive, I can work myself into that and we can talk about it. But for now, I think I will sit down and do all the programming, and we will check in when it's all done. I have gone through all the different settings and now I'm satisfied. I think I've done all the necessary changes. So what I want to do next is write the data on the decoder. And that's, I think, up here. Yeah, it states writing data on decoder. So we will just press this. I hope it's in frame. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's already working. You can see the yellow status LED right here, and when it's flickering like that, you can actually tell that the data is moving to the decoder. Here you can see the progress, and it's moving pretty fast, but I think it's not much data. Okay, we are done. It seems like my programming did actually work. We now have address 999 to talk to the decoder. We have F2 that we can press to switch on the lights inside the sawmill building. And we have F1, which will be used to switch on the lights outside, underneath the crane, the lanterns we installed, and the switch lanterns as well. Now I have changed the camera perspective into the sawmill, and if I press F2, the light switches on. That's fantastic. Like I said, if there is any more interest in programming decoders like we did today, I can make a dedicated video about that very soon, because I need to program a whole lot to get my signal box up and running. But that will be for another day. For now, this building is ready to go outside in the Sawmill Yard, and that's where we'll go right now. Here you can see that the wood portion of the building is already underneath the ground level, and that looks bad and isn't prototypical, so I will raise the building up a couple of centimeters. I have repositioned the building way more to the left, and I've used a spirit level to make it nice and level, and now it looks pretty good. This looks a little bit chaotic at the moment, but we made all the necessary connections. The red wire goes to the track down here, and we have 3 additional wires that are supplying electricity to the lanterns. Before we do anything else, we need to make a test run with the digital central station, because right now I can reach all the wiring, and in case something doesn't work, I can make easy adjustments. So I've connected the digital central station to the track up here only for test purposes. Later on the track will be powered by the central station like usual. But now we punch in 999. This is the program decoder address, and with function 2 we can switch on the lights and they work. That's amazing. Let's turn them off and on. That's cool. And now we switch on function 1, and as you can tell, those lanterns work. And up here, off and on. Perfect. It seems to work fine. So now we can clean up the wiring and set the building into place. Okay, the building is in its final place. It is nice and level. I've checked it with the spirit level, you can see back there. And now I need to adjust the 2 lanterns, put the gravel back into place, and then we can do a final test and watch what we accomplished. Look at that, my friends, we made it. Doesn't it look amazing? I like it a lot. Let's have a sneak peek into the saw. Of course, right now we are lacking a lot of details. I will certainly follow up on those. The biggest of which is the Sawmill Yard. This needs to be paved or has to have another sort of gravel. But right now, during the winter, this will stay. And that's mainly because of the situation right here. I need to figure out a way to maintain and retain the gravel, since we have 7 or 10 centimeters of height difference between the track and the retaining wall. And I need to create a flat surface that will look great and is weatherproof as well. Speaking of weatherproof, you might notice one of the foundations of the crane is cracked. That's thrust damage. The foundation on the other side seems to be well. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I think this looks great, and we will see us next time when we do have some train operations, I think. So until then, have a great one. Bye.